Welcome back to my animal education series. Today I'm here with Gina at the Pueblo Zoo. Hello.
Hello.
And who do we have back here?
So these are our meerkat. This is our meerkat mob, if you will.
So this is a family group that you have here?
It is. It consists of mom, dad, and then their 4 offspring.
And I also noticed back there that this is a multi-species enclosure with porcupines back there.
Yes, we have 2 African crested porcupines.
So how does that work? Do they kind of ignore each other, or?
For the most part, they ignore each other. Sometimes if there's food involved, there's a little bit of a fight, but we are very careful with that. But most of the time, they just kind of ignore each other.
So where can you find these meerkats in the wild?
So they're in Africa, in like dry, arid, savanna type places.
And what kind of foods do they naturally eat?
So they are categorized as a carnivore, so they do enjoy more like bugs and small lizards and things like that, but they will also eat vegetation as well.
And what do they eat here?
So they get a mix of cat kibble, fruits and veggies, and meat. It's a special meat made for zoos. It's a feline meat. It's made for zoos. It's got everything that they need in it. So it's a mix of all that stuff.
So what kind of animals would try to snack on a meerkat?
So these guys, birds of prey are going to be their biggest threat, or even small carnivores that could potentially just nab them on the way, but mostly it's just birds of prey.
And are these meerkats endangered in the wild?
These guys actually aren't endangered, but they are one of those species that we kind of want to keep an eye on because they are a keystone species. They show that the environment is healthy. They're also a prey species, so we want to make sure that we don't ever get them to a part where they're endangered.
So obviously these meerkats are communal, so how does their social structure work?
So they're usually in family groups. They're run by a female, usually the alpha female. She kind of runs everything. They all kind of watch out for each other. They have one that usually is on sentry duty. They're usually sitting up staring at the sky. So a lot of times you'll see them on the exhibit just looking up. They're just making sure that they're keeping their group safe. They'll give an alarm call and then they all kind of just run into their tunnels.
And how big do these groups usually get?
They can get really big. If they have the space and the resources, they can get into the hundreds.
Wow. And obviously you only have 6 here.
Right. We don't want to overproduce, so we don't want to keep making more meerkats if we don't have the room for it. This is a pretty good size for the 6 that we have.
And are these, since they're not endangered, I imagine they're not part of an SSP program?
They are actually part of an SSP, just because, like I said, they're species that aren't endangered, but we still want to make sure that we have a healthy population. We don't want to worry about just the endangered animals because then we're always fighting that uphill battle of what do we save. We want to make sure that all of the animals' planets are saved and taken care of. So our meerkats, our porcupines, even our DeBraz's monkeys, neither of them are endangered, but they all have their own SSP.
And what is one of your favorite parts of these meerkats? What's one of your favorite things about them?
These guys are a lot of fun to watch. They're very active. They're always doing something goofy. Their day-to-day life is just so busy and so active, and it's just a lot of fun to work with them.
Because even we've been here for what, 5-10 minutes, and they're just running around, except for the exact moment I mentioned that. But when you're throwing food in, they're all just kind of like bickering, messing around with each other, just trying to get some peanuts and yeah, throw in there. And it's kind of interesting to see how they work and how they work together. Yeah,
it's pretty neat to watch them. They're constantly bickering. They're like a normal family with siblings. They're constantly kind of bickering, trying to get, whoever can get the food first. It's also fun to watch them do enrichment. So we do enrichment to keep their minds busy because they are very active. They are actually pretty smart.
And then they are having a little fight under there.
Yeah, you can't see it, but
you can hear it. So you mentioned enrichment. What kind of enrichment do you provide for these meerkats?
So again, we try to keep these guys busy. It's the best way. Keep their minds active. Want to bring out those natural behaviors like digging and working together and things like that. So we give them a lot of puzzles. We give them a lot of insects that they have to chase around. Keep those skills nice and tuned. Things like that.
And you mentioned that they dig. How deep is this pen?
It's about 4 feet deep. It does have concrete walls all the way down, and then we also do have hot wire around it that keeps them in as well.
Well, thank you so much for telling us about meerkats and a little bit about the porcupines.
Sure.
And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below, subscribe to my channel, and also check out my Instagram @ColeShirt. As always, I'll see you next week.